Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in the amazing Nashville studios today. We're going to talk about compensators. A lot of people, confuse compensators with ported barrels. The compensator is a piece that goes onto a threaded barrel. And we're going to show you how to do it, how to install it, but also talk about why they work and how they work. The concept behind a compensator is that it jets gas, or it has gases jet out of the top of the compensator, sometimes the side, that help reduce the muzzle flip. It does reduce some of the pressure too, so you have less recoil in your hand. So the compensator has been around for a long, long time. I mean, since I was doing USPSA matches in 1985, people were using compensators, and they have all kinds of different shapes and sizes. And they were really popular for competition shooters there. And then they kind of fell out of favor, and now they're coming back in a big way. And that's because they work. They really do reduce felt recoil and muzzle flip and allow you to shoot faster from shot to shot. All right, and because of the fact that the gun is not jumping all over the place, you're able to keep your muzzle on target, shot to shot, and be more accurate. So hence you're safer as well. So we're going to go ahead and install this compensator onto a G43X, and the technique that we're about to show you is going to be applied to all of the compensators. They're all the same concept. You do have to change the barrel out to a threaded barrel. So this is a stock G43X in the FDE. You can see the FDE color frame. Of course, it is empty. I do double check it every time. Pull the trigger in a safe direction. No ammo in the room. Can't inadvertently load it. I have no magazines actually even available to me. No loaded magazines particularly, because things happen when there's ammo around and you're messing with the guns and you're kind of installing parts, cleaning them, whatever. Always keep the ammo separate. So that said, let's go ahead and disassemble this gun a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and pull the slide back just a little bit. Pull down on this slide lock, which is also known as a takedown lever. Hold down and just walk the slide off, and making sure that I kind of retain the slide so it doesn't fall off and fall on the floor and dent the nose ring or something like that. This is the frame. This is the upper. Frame or lower, slide or upper. That's kind of the nomenclature. So people always say, I have a lower or a frame, or they call it a slider sometimes. It's just a slide or an upper. We're going to go ahead and change out the threaded barrel, the barrel to install a threaded barrel, because you need a threaded barrel to install the compensator. Take the guide rod out, simple. The barrel just pops straight out. And now here is one of our double diamond threaded barrels for the G43X. Basically a little bit longer, and it has the threads out there in the front. So let me go ahead and take the barrel out of the package. We have barrels for all different models of Glocks. Same concept. Threaded barrels typically have the threads out front. Now, one of the things you always want to be aware of and careful of and keep in mind is that these threads out here are very delicate, to the point where if you ding it on a table, drop it, or have something hit it, any other kind of metal hit it, it could, and has, should I say, for many people has kind of messed up the threads. And then it's really not usable. It's just that bad. I mean, it's a really delicate thing. So each of our barrels come with what we call a thread protector, basically. And so if you're not going to use a compensator or a suppressor, or if you're going to take it on and off, you want to put the thread protector on and keep it on, so you kind of protect those threads from getting the gun banged around. Now, in order to install the compensator, you have to put the barrel in first and kind of leave it loose. So I'm going to just drop it in, and I'll show you kind of how it sticks out of the front there. A lot of people ask the question, well, how far does it stick out? Well, I'd say that's about 3/4 to an inch. All right, now, here is the compensator. And what I'm going to do is just push the barrel up just a little bit, and before I put it on, let me show you a couple things on this. This particular compensator is designed for the Gen 5 guns, this being the G43X, and the nose ring, or excuse me, the bullnose slide, okay? You can see it has these little wings up here. They're going to cup the slide. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and thread this on very gently. Now, you want to be careful not to cross thread this. Again, those threads are very delicate. So, and this is steel, and that's steel, and so if we get it started, we want to just feel it real quick. So I like to put it, basically up and down, kind of get it going a little bit. And if it binds up at all, I want to take it off. But it seems that I've got it set up there, and I can just twirl it around. I kind of put this on before earlier, and it appears to me that it's pretty well timed. Timed means when it kind of bottoms out, that it looks like it's going to fit naturally right into the nose ring, just like that. Okay? Now, on the side of this particular compensator, and most compensators will have some type of retaining screw. There's one on either side of this one. This allows you to capture the compensator on the barrel. It is recommended that you use Loctite on these screws. But it is also recommended that you, as the operator, manage those screws on a, basically day-to-day basis. Loctite is vulnerable to heat, and there's going to be a lot of heat when you shoot a lot of rounds. So you're going to want to pay attention to those screws, make sure they don't walk out, because, like I said, we're going to apply Loctite, and when you apply Loctite, you have to be aware that, it's there to help the threads from not backing out, but it's not foolproof. All right. So that said, there's the screw, and this is a little sample pack of Loctite. It's the blue Loctite, the 243 Loctite. Okay. And that's what's recommended by the manufacturer. So there is a red Loctite that typically is used for high heat and higher strength applications, but you want to be able to take this off. So the blue is going to be it. But I will say again, you have to manage that. So I'm just going to go ahead and cut this top off right here and get into this thing a little bit. There it is. All right. Now, a lot of people always think about, well, how do you apply Loctite? Well, what you want to do is you want to put the Loctite on the threads. So we're going to come out here, and we're going to just put a little dab on the thread. And I don't have to be too much, because it's going to find itself around as I screw it in. Okay, so there it is. And now I'm going to apply it and put it right into the hole and screw it in there. And again, now, I cannot express to you enough how important it is to understand that Loctite is not foolproof. Just because you put it on there doesn't mean you don't have to look at it again. I would say that every time you shoot, I would manage those screws, look at them, okay, they look like they're good, they're not walking away. I've had people, who, of course, been shooting and, whether it be a compensator or some other device, even optics, and they say, hey, my screw flew off. Well, again, you're driving the car. If your wheel falls off, that's because you weren't looking at your lug nuts. So be aware of the fact that, you need to look at that on a regular basis. All right, there's screw number one. I'm going to do number two as well. And again, I'm not putting, I'm not dousing the whole thing in Loctite. I'm actually putting it on the threads. I'm not putting it in the hole. I'm going to put it on the threads, just like so, a little bit, and it's going to find itself all the way around as I screw it in. And that is basically it. Now, I've got it tightened down. And again, I don't need to crush these. I'm really finger tightening this right there. The main thing I want to do is make sure I've got it set up so that it's exactly perfect, and it's going to be lined up with everything so it's not, off kilter, because, this barrel slams back in every time. All right, so that said, get that Loctite off my hands here, and I'll just clean it up off the front here too. All right. Now, it's recommended you let this sit for about 24 hours before you actually shoot it. So, but that's how it looks. And now I can actually put the guide rod back in and actually put it back on the slide. And there you go. It's that quick and that simple. The key factor again is, to make sure it's lined up properly. And like I said, it's timed pretty good. As I twirled down, it got tight right there at the end. I could twist it a little bit more and make it off kilter, but I don't want to do that. I want to make sure that it's straight. And so then I lock in place with the set screws and a little bit of Loctite. And that's it. And it looks pretty good. This thing actually is one of the most eye-pleasing compensators I've seen. It's got the port on the top and the 2 ports on the edge here. One of the things you may want to be aware of is the fact that because the compensator is expressing some of the gas pressure out of both these ports, all 3 of these ports, some of that gas pressure is not actually driving the slide back. All right? Because of that, you may find, not always, you may, depending upon your ammo and how you grip the gun, you may find that the gun doesn't cycle properly. It's not the compensator. It's either the ammo is not powerful enough because, again, you're losing some of that gas pressure. Or your guide rod could be changed out to a lighter spring guide rod. And that's why we sell lighter spring guide rods. We do have a reduced power guide rod for just about every model of Glock. We do have one for the 43X that is designed for a couple reasons. One, for people who want to make it easier to cycle by hand, because some people have weaker hand strength. And 2, for compensators or suppressors. It's a lighter spring weight that allows you to shoot with a compensator suppressor and it will cycle full on. So a lot of people have used these over the years. They call us up, say, hey, it's not cycling properly, and we usually sell them a reduced power guide rod to make it cycle properly. It's very difficult on the phone to explain to someone that maybe your grip isn't quite as strong as it should be. People kind of get upset with that, but it's true. So when you're shooting a compensator or suppressor, you can think about a lighter power guide rod, but first, make sure you really have a good strong grip on it so that when that gun cycles, none of that action is being displaced by the gun moving in your hand. Even though you can't see it or even feel it, there's a lot of vibration going on, and if you don't have a good strong grip, this may not have the proper harmonics to actually cycle the slide as one would expect it to. So there it is. Now listen, again, the key factor is that we've got these available for all the different Glocks. And it's something fun to play with. They really do make a difference in the way the gun cycles, but also the way it feels in your hand. There's less pressure in your hand. There's less muzzle flip. It's really something that, if you're interested in, shooting faster and more accurately, it is a good option. Now, for holsters, for this particular gun, a G48 holster would work because it's basically about the same size as a G48. So that is one thing to consider is, okay, well now how will I stick it into a holster? So let me see here. I'm wearing my G43 in this leather holster that we sell. I'm kind of doing my experiment with this. I've worn it now for about maybe 60 days. I'm comparing the leather to the Kydex we sell. The nice thing about this holster, it's got an open bottom. So it's more than likely going to take this gun and going to go straight out the bottom just like that. So this same holster will work for the compensator, which is nice. So I'm going to see, give it another month or so and see how I feel about this leather. I'm surprised how much I like it. It's softer, smoother, feels better than the Kydex. It's a lot more expensive, but it is lighter even. That's really even more surprising. I was surprised that the leather is lighter than the Kydex. So that said, again, think about your holster. You see that the open bottom holster is going to accept these guns, and it's going to be the same way across the board. And there is a universal option that basically fits all the 9mm. So, if you just want to see something, this is pretty neat. It's actually a small little piece. And this one just screws on, but it does not have retention screws. It actually fits with a kind of a crush washer type concept. Let's see here if I can pull one of these out here. Like I said, this one fits just about any Glock. It's a little smaller. This is the washer. It's kind of a silicone type O-ring, and it's a crush washer, and you just put it in here and crush it onto the threaded barrel itself. So that's another option for you. I'm Lenny McGill. This, of course, is the GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop here in Nashville, Tennessee. If you ever come to Nashville, we're 2 miles from the airport. So please come by and see us. We have a great retail shop, just amazing supplies of Glock accessories and parts and pieces, and just about every Glock in stock, and an outstanding shooting room with some great instructors. So if you want to shoot a little bit, come by and see us. There are private rooms where you get to shoot with an instructor, and no one else is shooting next to you that you don't know. So it's really a nice experience. And we've had some great luck here in Nashville. Loving the town. Would love to see you. Thanks for watching. See you next time.